Hey folks, Mike and McGee here. Everybody has a different outlook when they shoot a really nice big buck. This one was shot by my son David, 13 years old. Very nice buck for a 13-year-old. And for where we live and where we're at, big bucks just ain't all that plentiful. So I realize not everybody can afford to have a deer head mounted. There's a lot of different price ranges in taxidermy, so you could find a cheap job. But I'm gonna show you in this video how to check a taxidermist's work to see if you're getting what you're paying for. But first of all, I'm gonna show you how to prepare your deer head to take to the taxidermist. My dad did taxidermy for years, and it was appalling at what we would get in sometimes. It makes the taxidermist's job harder and makes the final product less, a lot less. I'm gonna start this video having him already skinned down to here, because when you get a shoulder mount done, this is about what you're gonna need from him. So I'm gonna quickly just skin this down to here, cut that off, and then we'll begin from there. Now, if you're looking for a taxidermist and you wanna know if he does good work, here's your tip. Look at the eyeballs. Look at the eyes on his work. The rack has nothing to do with the taxidermist. People look at a deer head, and if it's got a big rack, they say, oh, he did such a great job. He had nothing to do with that. Everything the taxidermy had to do with was from the antlers down. So look at those eyeballs. If they look like this right here, he's not your man. That's a meth head is what that is. That don't look good at all. If he looks like this, you don't want to choose that taxidermist, because his eye, the deer looks like he's had a really rough night, which maybe he did, but you don't want him to look like that on the wall. You want him to look about like this right here, like he is very well rested, single, and ready to mingle. So that's your tip on taxidermy for the day. All right, we've got this down to this point. The main thing is you need a sharp knife. It don't have to be a charade long finger. It can be whatever you want, but a sharp knife, and that goes without saying. But now that we said it, let's get on. I always like to give my dog a little bit of the treat. I get a little bit of this meat off the skin here and just, oh, he loves it. And he deserves it. He deserves it. He keeps this place free and clear from the critters that would kill my ducks, chickens, and guineas. Speaking of deserving it, when your kid kills a nice deer, if your kid kills a nice deer, if he's been respectful, if he's been helpful on the place, if you can afford it, he deserves for you to take that mount or do something with it. Now, Matthew, he decided to do a camo dip with his, and I was happy to do that. Now, this one here is not his. His isn't done yet. This is the one I got done from the buck I killed last year. It was a pretty good buck and worthy of a mount, but I've already killed a lot and had a lot mounted, so I just did the camo dip. But I'll tell you right now, David, of all people, deserves to have his deer head mounted, because that guy is extremely responsible. As you know, I do Mangalitsa pigs. I raise a lot of Mangalitsa pigs, and we've got a lot for sale, piglets right now, ready to go if you want some. But that's David's job. He feeds and waters the pigs every single day, twice a day. I never have to tell him, you need to go water the pigs, you need to go feed the pigs. He takes care of it. And I mean, years of it, I don't have to say a word. It's automatic. He does it. He deserves it. So, we've got it down where we're gonna take this hide off right here. And you don't have to take the hide and cut the back off. You can leave it whole, but just so you get a visual of what is important to watch out for, I'm gonna take this back hide off so that you can see. And we're going to just cut this skirt off about right here. Straight off like that. Now from here on, we're gonna be extremely careful not to cut the skin. That's a good reason to have a sharp knife, because it will, you know, when you touch everything, it's gonna cut. And so you're gonna be cutting down through here. Now you can pull some of it, but he's hung out here in the cold and he's got pretty stiff. And here's another thing I'd like to do my own skinning, because most taxidermists don't save this flank meat. That all gets thrown away. At the McGee farm, this all gets turned into burger. And I don't know about Longbow Banjo. I know he is a YouTuber that has his own butcher shop, and he processes deer. That's how he makes his living. Longbow, do you skin that flank out and grind it, or do you throw it away? I don't know. He's in Alabama. I've never had a chance to take a deer to him. But 99% of my deer, I process myself. Now, if I'm giving meat to somebody, I get it done commercially and let them package it and all that. But for my own family, I do it myself. Okay, so starting off right now, we're gonna cape this thing out. Now I'm gonna swing this deer around so you can see under here. If you were skinning this deer and it was not going to be a shoulder mount, you would just split this all the way down the neck and then just skin it out. It makes it so much easier. But in this process, we're not worried about ease, we're worried about not cutting it. One of the biggest problems the taxidermists have it cut down through there, they have to sew that back up and try to make it look like it's not sewed back up, and that's pretty tough to do. So you're just going to basically tube skin this thing out and let your taxidermist have a cape that is free of holes. I'm going to put this on time lapse so you can actually see it, because if I don't, you won't get to see it. It takes a little bit of patience. When you get done, go ahead and just take a paper towel and kind of clean up any kind of blood around the nose and mouth. You want to make it as easy for your taxidermist as possible to keep that pretty. Some people don't skin down the neck as far as I do. I take it plumb down to the to the absolute bare necessity, because these big deer, now this deer field dressed 153 pounds, they've got a ton of meat on their neck, and with the meat prices nowadays, you don't want to be throwing away 5-10 pounds of meat. So I'm going to quarter this up and get it on ice. But this right here is what you want your deer to look like. There's not a single cut in this hide. 2 bullet holes, 1 entrance, 1 exit. But that won't be no trouble for the taxidermist to do. And that will ensure the best possible mount for the animal. The animal deserves it. You deserve it, your son deserves it, whoever got the deer. So at this point, either get it directly to your taxidermist or put it in your freezer so that the hair don't slip. You don't want the hair to slip out. A little side note is, if you're gonna do this, you have to have your tag where you tagged your deer in at. In Tennessee, we have a confirmation number on the tag. That has to be with this deer at all times. But other than that, I think that'll pretty much take care of you. Tell you pretty much all you need to know about this. And I hope, if you are a hunter and if you get out there, I hope you have some good success. Put some meat on the table. If not, some horns on the wall. Either way, that's all we've got for you today. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next video.